The 7th Annual Gentlemen's Ball will be held Saturday, October 6, 2018 at the Marriott Marquis in Atlanta, hosted by Terrell Carter and Tammy P. Nessa Girl, the black carpet will be hosted by none other than the doll herself, Miss Funky Dineva Ross, with a nasty live performance by the Southern Hummingbird herself, Miss Tweet. Get your tickets at thegentlemensfoundation.org.
Nessa Girl, I'm mad as hell because I don't sat down and recorded the Medicine Wise video, got to the computer to upload it, and the shit wasn't on the SD card. I guess my dumb ass forgot the damn press record on the camera or whatever, or wasn't paying attention. But happy Monday morning to you, okay? I was all happy and feeling lovely when I first did it. Now I got a goddamn attitude, so I ain't responsible for what hell these bitches about to catch. At any rate, the episode opens up with Dr. Heavenly continuing to go off on Quad, and then she walks outside and basically picks a fight with Mariah. Now y'all know me, I am the first person to let Mariah's ass have it, okay? I ain't got no problem airing Mariah ass out, but Heavenly, you dead ass wrong in this situation. You went outside and took all that misplaced anger and directed it at Mariah. That whole, cause see, she lied on you and you was able to forgive her about that. So I don't understand. That was a dig and that was a jab, and Heavenly, you was just wrong. And you know, the Emily Post etiquette book said, as a host, it is your job to make people feel comfortable down to your house, and you made that lady feel real uncomfortable down to your house. And the thing about it is, Heavenly, it was a passive-aggressive ass way of opening a conversation about Mariah lying, because you still feel a way about her saying she got receipts for about your husband cheating on you. You really was still mad about that, and you used this to get at her. You know, Mariah was 100% correct in this situation. She was trying her hardest to just be nice and friendly and welcoming and warm in your home. And Heavenly, you was wrong for that shit. And then though, the fact that y'all started going in on mamas, and then you said where your ugly, dry, dusty mama at, bitch, I fucking died, because you could tell Mariah still mad about when you talked about Miss Lucy. It's just a lot, and it's funny as fuck watching middle-aged women throwing your mama jokes. Simone and Quad talked. You know, I was pleased when Simone and Quad was sitting on the sofa and they were beginning to talk. And I'm going to tell you one thing I like about that conversation. Simone was warm. She was inviting. She allowed Quad to speak her piece. But Simone did not double down, and she did not back down from Quad. And she was like, I hear what you're saying, I respect it and I understand it, but the fact still remains. And I'm calling this out because it is very important. So many times in friendships, people, you know, they start crying, they throw tantrums, they get loud, and the other friend, for the sake of keeping peace, we just let it go, or we give in for the sake of keep giving peace, and it gives that person the impression that they were right, and it also gives them positive reinforcement that when things aren't going the way they want them to go, get loud, throw a tantrum, start a fuss, or whatever negative behaviors there are. I am glad that Simone was able to hear Quad out and say, and in spite of that, your behavior still is not appropriate, and we need some changes to go on. Once again, with Quad and Simone, I can relate to that situation because Quad and I had a kumbaya. We had about an hour and 45-minute conversation last week. She got on the line, she cussed me out and gave me the business. I cussed her out, gave her the business. We agreed on some things, we agreed to disagree on other things, and we back on track and we back cool. And that's just the way friendships work. But a friendship ain't real if you can't keep it real with your friends, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Like if you my friend and I can't say some real shit to you without fear of losing the friendship, then you know, maybe it ain't meant for us to be friends. But I'm happy to report that Quad and I have reconciled, and all is on the up and up as of today. Jackie walks in and sits down, and I think Quad really respects Jackie. Jackie has a delicate touch, and she can receive stuff from Jackie. I really wanted that scene with Simone, Jackie, and Quad to go on longer. I really wanted them to talk. Then Heavenly came over with all her hostile energy, and Contessa and Quad began talking, and Heavenly big mouth ass, well, why do you stay, Quad? Why do you stay if you that damn unhappy? And it's like, damn, Heavenly, get a girl a chance to talk. And that's when Quad broke down. It's like, you're not letting me talk. And, you know, Heavenly has the same problem that I sometimes have, which is things be so cut and dry for me. I'm a very cut and dry person, and I don't understand people who live and operate in the gray. You know what I'm saying? Much like Heavenly, I'm with her. Okay, you done made me unhappy on Monday. You done made me unhappy on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm unhappy. Thursday, I'm starting to feel this might not be right for me, and by the weekend, bitch, I'm out. That's just the way I am in relationships. That's with family, that's with friends. I have no problem protecting my peace and my energy. One of my favorite quotes by Walt Disney's brother, he said, there is never a such thing as a hard decision if you know where your priorities lie. My priority is my peace. So regardless of if you my mama, you my daddy, I prioritize my peace above you. You compromise my peace, you gotta go. That's just how I operate, y'all. And I carry that through my decision-making process in everything in life. There is no such thing as a tough decision if you know where your priorities lie. That helped me so much, y'all, because I'll be stuck between a rock and a hard place, so I think. And then you write the rock down on a piece of paper, you write the hard place down on a piece of paper, and whichever one ranks number one is where you side, and you cut that number two. Changed my life, y'all. Sleep on that. I gave y'all that one for free. I love the fact that Quad said, you know, she needs to feel safe. And I get that. People need a safe space to confide, so on and so forth. And I'm just glad that the ladies were all able to come together and, you know, just say, you know, Quad, you can't pick us up and put us down when you want. And I'm glad that Quad had enough self-awareness in this situation to apologize to the ladies for alienating them and making them not feel like they were important to her, because that was Simone's frustration. That was my frustration when we wasn't talking for so long. It's just like, damn, I just mean absolutely nothing to you. Like, it's just that easy for you to put me on the shelf and not play with me. That shit hurts. So I'm glad that they got through it and they got over it, and they've created a safe space where Quad put it out there. My marriage falling apart. I don't know what to do. I ain't got no place to stay. The man though, and they can move on. The next day, Mariah comes over to Toya's house. Let me tell y'all something, baby. Mariah ass was dressed, honey. She had on that powder blue. She had on her nasty outfit, baby. I loved every moment of it. That blonde hair was sitting on top of that powder blue. She looked it good. Now, is it me, or do Mariah give y'all a Sandra Claude 227Ts? Mary. She give me a Sandra Claude tease. Mariah and Toya had a very interesting conversation, because Mariah, it flashed forward to her confessional, and she was saying that when it comes to Contessa, Toya just needs to be heard, and Contessa is not hearing her. So I'm slightly confused though, because is what Toya requires is to just say her piece with Contessa having no rebuttal. Honestly and truthfully, I am very upset with Toya after this episode, because I feel like at the Fitney, when Jackie partnered Toya and Contessa up, and before they started, Contessa said, Toya, let me holler at you. Contessa gave Toya a thorough, sincere apology, and as far as I'm concerned, that really should have dead the situation. And then they flashed to Toya's confessional, and Toya saying, well, this ain't the place for us to talk about this. I don't want to upset Jackie, and we started an argument. But the thing about it is, there should not be any fear of any argument, because you guys should not get into an argument, because there really should not be much to discuss. The girl explained to you for the 1,000th time why she was not there. She said, I understand why you're upset, and she apologized and said, I just want my friend back. What more is there to talk about? And I'm with Contessa. When they got to the dinner scene, the last scene, Contessa was like, I thought this was dead after the Fitney. And she said, Toya, it seems like you just want to argue. And I'm in 100% agreement with Contessa. Emotionally, I am not understanding what more Toya needs. Like, what more? Toya's one of those people that she wants to beat you down with her point. I got a friend like that. And I've had to really curtail the way her and I interact, because it is more important for her to be right than it is for us to maintain this friendship. Like, Toya is not that real. Okay, at the point in which you express your point 900 times to Contessa, like, what does that do for you internally? It would seem to me that Toya's desire to have a peaceful friendship and a respectable friendship with Contessa should outweigh her desire to get some arbitrary point across. We get it. You were bothered because I didn't attend the party. We get it. Okay, like, I just don't know what more there is for Toya to say to Contessa. I don't know what emotions, feelings, or undisclosed information there's left to disclose. And it just feels like Toya wants to argue. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know where Toya finds the time for this. Quiet as it's kept, Toya, you need to go fucking get a job. Because, bitch, cashiers at Family Dollar don't have the time to revel in the shit that you revel in and make issues out of. And I'm with Contessa. She said the military taught me to stick to the mission. The mission in this situation is to remain friends and get it back on track. Fuck the minutia. Toya is being sidetracked by all this little dumb stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. If Toya had a fucking career, you know, one that didn't involve sucking and fucking her husband and cutting the crust off of peanut butter sandwiches, I could assure you she would not have the time to get upset over small things like this. And I guess that's where the disconnect is coming between me, Contessa, and Toya. Because folks that have things to do just do not have time to get in their feelings about something so insignificant. And at this point, Toya, I get that you wanted to throw a party and I get that you were doing a grand gesture, but in the grand scheme of life, you and your party and what you do from day to day is not important. It is not life or death, and it is a pebble in the mountain of other people's lives. Like, it's a fucking party. And I hate to just, cast her efforts in the garbage, but girl, priorities are priorities, and that's some bullshit. Go get you some real priorities and get some damn business about yourself and stop damn being mad. Get on the career builder and get you a part-time job or something to go, stand outside and help the kids cross the bus walk, or go down to the school and volunteer as a paraprofessional or be a substitute teacher. But you need to get up, get out, and get something. Don't waste all your time trying to pick fights. You better get up, get out, and get something, because you and I got to do for you and I, and that's just true tea. Contessa going in the room to talk to her father. Y'all, that was a very heart-wrenching scene for me. What I liked about it is Contessa was straightforward with her dad. Daddy, you got cancer. All right, I'm a doctor. You beating around the bush. I know you're trying to protect me. You want to be in denial, whatever the case may be. You got cancer. And I respect whether you choose to go through treatment or not. Now, what was interesting was she was saying, she grew up all her life watching her parents be sick, and she feels as if, they might be slightly cursed. And I get that feeling when you don't understand why this keeps happening to you and your people. What I found interesting, I love the way Contessa has really watched Iyanla fix my life. And it's fixing her life and fixing herself emotionally so she can be the best Contessa she can be. A lot of people would have been very distant with the father, very resentful, I regret you for not doing this, that, and the third. Contessa, on the other hand, says, you know what? You've missed so many milestones in my life and so many places that I needed you to be emotionally supportive of. But here is another opportunity where you can make it up to me, and all will be forgiven. I'm going to get a vasectomy, and I just want you there. I think it's important because you're going through cancer. Mom had cancer. I'm trying to prevent it. And I love that the father is receptive, and he's not making excuses for his absence. And he said to her, I know I wasn't there for your mama, but I'm going to be there for you. And, Contessa made a request. I'm asking, will you come be there for me? For all those times that you were. And he said, yeah, I really liked that scene, and I really do like the healing process that Contessa and her father are going through. And I also like the fact that she's willing to share something so intimate on camera. I like that. Heavenly take her ass back to that damn funeral home to get some damn counseling. Is it me or that man is giving me real mortuary, vampire, and Brooklyn tease? Like, I'm just something about that. It's the sessions at his house. Like, I'm lost. And like that lady who opens the door, is she like the mistress? I promise you, on a full moon, I think that man and that lady turned into vampires. Something just ain't right round there at that house, and I can't put my finger on it, but put a flag in this and mark my words. It's gonna hit the surface what it is. Now here's the thing. What I do like about this counseling session is it gave a lot of insight into Heavenly's behavior, and more so into her relationship with Mariah. When Heavenly broke down the dynamic between her mom, and her sister, and then she said, you know, Mariah reminds me so much of my sister. Ding, 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 ding. A lot of Heavenly's aggravation and frustration with Mariah has nothing to do with Mariah, but the fact that it brings up negative feelings and emotions for her because she sees her sister in Mariah. I too can heavily relate to that situation as it relates to my dad and one of the deep-seated issues that we have. My dad has a very bad habit, at least in the past he has, of playing on people's intelligence. You know, he will tell you something, and he took the position that because, I guess, you know, he's the matriarch or he's the dad, that he can just say anything and you're just supposed to believe it or go with it or not challenge it, despite the fact that you know the truth and you know that he's flat out lying or misleading or not telling the truth. So with that being said, in most social situations, I'm cool as a cucumber. Like, I'm the person in the room that'll de-escalate a fight in a heartbeat. You could be standing 5 feet away from me, calling me all kind of bitches, calling my dead mama all kind of low down scams, and I promise you I won't flinch, move, or care. None of that stuff bothers me. But if you tell me that the sky is red when I'm looking at it and it's obviously blue, I promise y'all I'll blow a gasket. I lose all self-control. That is my one trigger that will have me flipping tables and whatnot, as if, auntie, I call you back, flipping tables and whatnot as if I'm on Love and Hip Hop. Do not play on my intelligence. Do not tell me the sky is red and I'm looking at the bitch and it's blue, and you standing there with all kind of conviction trying to tell me that it's red and it's blue. Like, that shit sends me. And it sends me so much because he used to do that and still does to a degree from the time I was a child until now. And you know, when you're a child, you're voiceless. Like, you can't say to your parents, you know, so it always made me feel powerless. That somebody is telling me something I know different, but there's nothing I can do about it. Because if I talk back, I'm going to get a whooping. I'm going to get punished, and there's going to be some sort of negative consequence. And it brings back all of that childhood trauma when somebody tries to play on my intelligence. You want to see me act Love and Hip Hop and flip a table? Play me for dumb. So, you know, we got a lot of insight into Heavenly, and that was good. I do think there's some healing for Heavenly in fixing and healing that situation with her mom and her sister. At the 50, Eugene done popped Heavenly in the head. That shit was funny as hell. But I'll say this. I am glad that at the end of the 50, Mariah and Heavenly were able to slap 5 and be friends. Not be friends, but be friendly. I was never one who believed in those corporate retreats and those team building exercises. But it is good to see that by the 3rd exercise, they were at least able to put the bullshit to the side and slap 5. So hats off to Jackie in doing that with the 50. And last but not least, Contessa and Toya go down to this dinner, y'all. We had went and talked about it earlier in the video. But once again, I side with Contessa. There's nothing to talk about, Toya. You are making this larger than what it is. You just want to fight. And something that Toya did that was so fucking childish. Contessa was like, you know what? I'm not finna fight with you. I'm finna go. And then she called her a bitch. So that's when Contessa came back and was like, let me set the record straight. And you could tell Toya is so emotionally immature. She was like, oh yeah, you back for 5 seconds? Well, I'm gonna get up and leave. Basically, so I can have the satisfaction of saying I'm the one who walked out the restaurant and left you behind. Toya's so kitty and immature in the area, and she really needs to spend some time with herself, getting herself together. At any rate, that's a girl. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. I'm finna get in here and make the other phone calls. I know I gotta call y'all about Blackie and Crew New York. And we gonna make it do what it do. I'll call you later, girl. Bam! And if y'all know anybody that's hiring, please email the link to Toya. Get a job, bitch!